Yo, what's the dealio, man? Listen, you already know what time it is, all right? You know I got a straight banger for you guys today, all right? So check this out, check this out, check this out. In today's video, what I want to talk about is how trading is investing, right? Trading is investing. So what I want to do is I want to break it down and in hopes that if you are on the fence about learning how to trade, I want to help you elevate your mind because it's not just day trading, right? You can use the charts for whatever you want, and that's the beauty of it. And also, when you learn the charts, you learn when it's time to buy shares of a stock. So what I want to do in this video, I want to talk about shares and also options, okay? So when you think about buying shares, I know a lot of people say, hey, buy shares of index funds and just let it sit. And that's fine. You can do that. But let's say that index makes 10% a year on average. So if you put 100,000 in there, you're going to make $10,000 a year, right? Okay. But if you just learn what leaps are, you can multiply your returns inside of your investment. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. What I want to do is we got a lesson right here, and I'm going to break it down side by side so you can see those things. Okay. So this is for those that are looking to, do better in their retirement accounts. Those people that don't want to trade, right? Don't want to learn how to trade. They say, okay, I'm gonna just put money in stocks I know, the big companies, and that's it. But you can still lose money if you buy shares of stocks if it's at all-time highs, right? So it's like you gotta know and understand that this information, when we learning how to read the charts and things like that, it's not just day trading. It's not just for riskiness, right? It's to learn when to buy and when to sell. That's really what it's about and what it boils down to, right? So I hope that you guys understand that, and I hope that y'all picking up what I'm putting down, okay? So let's do this right here, okay? So we're going to go right here. All right. So right here, we're going to talk about investing, right? And then trading. Okay. And this is going to break down for you guys why investing is trading and trading is investing, right? And I'm not here for all the technical definitions, right? If you just understand, once you learn how to trade, you will become a better investor. So you have shares. When you have investing, you have shares of companies, right? Common stock. And so let's say you want to buy 100 shares of a stock. Doesn't matter. So let's say you wanted to buy Nvidia when it was at $100, just to make numbers even, right? So you got $100 per share, right? We got Nvidia, okay? Nvidia, and so $100 per share, and you get 100 shares. Let's just say, right? So you put 10K in Nvidia. All right. Now, let's say in one year, right? Nvidia doubles. Let's just say, okay? Let's just say in 1 year it doubles. So Nvidia is now at $200 per share, right? And now your 10K went to 20K, right? When you have shares, there is no expiration date, okay? There is no expiration date. Now, let's think about this from a trading perspective. In trading, there is a term called leaps, right? Leaps. And so what a leap is you have scalp trading, which is a couple minutes, swing trading, which is like a day, couple days, couple weeks, And then you have day trading, which is that day. And then you have leaps, which is 9 months or more. Okay? 9 months or more. So let's say you see NVIDIA at $100 per share, and you like, we're down 30% on this stock. This is one of the most valuable companies in the the NYSE, the New York Stock Exchange. So let me get into some call options as well, right? So let's say you take that same 10K and you put it into a call option and you put it out 13 months, okay? So let's say you do a call option on NVIDIA, right? With the strike price of, let's just say $100 strike price, right? $100 strike price. All right. And then you have it out for 13 months as your expiration. Okay. So let's say that those are the metrics right there. So this, and you put 10K in it, 10K into that position, right? So a year out, you may get that for one contract, maybe like $4,000. I'm not looking at the options chain right now, but let's just say, so yeah. So now, if the equity doubles, right? I want you to remember, one contract, right, gives you the right to buy 100 shares. Okay? So if you have two contracts, you'll have the right to buy 100 shares at the strike price that you bought that contract at. Right? So you put 10K in this position, and then let's say the stock doubled still, right? The strike price is $200. What happens is this 10K, your position, you will probably have made, I would say, over 400% returns, right? If you're in a leap and the stock went up by $100, I think it's safe to say you're up 400%, but let's be modest, right? Let's be modest and say 250%, okay? So let's say your contracts are up 250%, okay? I'm being very modest here. If you know options, then you know I'm being modest. So you're up 250% off of that 10K. What that means is you turned $10,000 into $25,000 in profit. Okay? Profit. So what that means is you now have 35K. Right? Started with 10. You got a 250% return on that 10,000, right? That's 35K, 25K in profit. All right. And so you buying shares, you have no expiration date. You have an expiration date with trading or with options, right? Let's say options, but it's just a long-term thing. So if you're willing to buy shares, it's almost safe to say you're willing to buy leaps, depending on the price of that stock. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense in the comments. So the only way that you're going to learn how to do this and learn how to take leaps and know when to get into a trade is you need to learn how to read the charts, right? Because you need to learn when is the time to buy. What zones do I need to be looking at? Right? If you don't know what zones you need to be looking at, if you don't know how to understand what demand zones are and supply zones are, what ends up happening is you are going to be buying at all-time highs and you're going to be selling at lows. So you're going to be buying high and selling low. But the name of the game when we're talking about investing is buy low and sell high. Right? So this breakdown right here, this shows you how Trading is investing. Learning how to trade makes you a better investor. And having an investor's mindset makes you a better trader. If you don't want to day trade, you don't have to, right? I look at day trade as a job, right? So you can wake up, you can go to the market, and you can make money that day. But the leaps is going to be what allows you to print money with you doing nothing. And so you could be having equities, which is shares, and you could be doing leaps. That way, if the market does drop, you're not really worried because you have time on that contract. And if you buy at real steep discounts, you're always going to be in the green. So let's say you're up 20,000 in a position. Let's say the market drops a little bit, and now you being up 20,000, it drops, and now you're only up 15K. You're still up 15K in profit, right? You're still up 15K in profit. Even though that position is down $5,000 temporarily. And then what happens? The stock continues to go up after it pulls back. And then now you're up 25K, right? That's how this game goes. So I want you to understand that when you learn how to trade and when you learn how to read the charts, you will be able to take long-term positions with call options, right? With call options. And then you will be able to make more money. I'm not saying don't buy shares. What I'm saying is use both. And so let me break this down as to why this is possible. Okay? So why is it possible for you to benefit off of trading for the long term? Right? Because here's what happens. I'm just erasing this real quick. Let me erase this. My bad, y'all. There we go. All right, so erase this real quick. All right. So here's what happens. All right, so here's what happens, right? With options is something called a derivative, right? And a derivative is the value of the option contract is derived from the actual value of the share price. All right. So if we have a stock, let's stay with NVIDIA. If the stock is trading at $100 and that stock goes up to $150, right? That means that the company is now at a higher market cap, right? Now with options, you have option contracts, okay? You get one contract, you get one contract, and that gives you the right to buy 100 shares of the stock at the strike price that you purchased. Okay? So, if you got the $100 strike price right here, right, and the stock went to 150, your shares are in the money, and so you can buy those 100 shares at the $100 if you want to exercise your right, or you can sell those contracts off to somebody else, right? So the value of these option contracts go up as the stock price goes up, because you can either exercise your right to buy these contracts at your strike price, or you can sell off the rights of that contract to somebody else. So this is what options are, right? And because I know sometimes people trade and they don't fully understand what's really going on. They just know that they can make money, right? But once you understand how this game really works, it makes things easier for you to make money and to benefit and be able to build your wealth. So me personally, I think I like long-term option contracts and the shares as well. That's what I want you to focus on and understand here. Okay? So, trading is investing. Don't for 1 second think that trading only means scalp trading, day trading. No. Very wealthy people know what options are, and they do long dated options. They do leaps every year, and they make an extra $300K a year off of leap options to the upside or the downside, right? So understand the game and benefit off of the game, right? I hope that this video helped you. I hope that it helps you understand what's going on a little bit more, right? If you want to do a one-on-one and really map out a long-term strategy, click the link in the description and we can schedule a call, and we could do that. All right. If you want to learn how to day trade or just trade in general, learn how to read the charts as well, and you want to do it in a group setting, just click the link below and join the Discord. Right. We live trade in there every day. It's a lot of good information and resources in there as well. Okay. So I hope that helped you guys. I hope that it made sense for you. All right. So like I always say, make sure you get out of your head, right? Get out of your head, go get into the world, because your head is a dangerous place to live, all right? And also remember, the more you study, the less you worry, all right? I appreciate y'all time. Y'all stay smooth. I'm gonna holler at you guys on the next video. Peace.